Well, Italy have taken the bronze. Now it's time for the gold medal match in the compound women's team event between the Netherlands and France. Big matchup here. Neither team got medals at the last European Championships, and this time they're contesting the gold medal match. Let's hand back to the stadium announcer for the team announcements.
On target number 1, representing the Netherlands, Sanne de Laat, Inge van der Ven, Jody Vermeulen. On target number 2, France, Sophie Daudemont, Lola Grangin, Tiffany Renaudin. The line judge of this match is Christina Tiflidou.
Well, here we go. It's Netherlands versus France. The Netherlands lineup is Sanne de Laat, 26-year-old, who's a world number 32. Inge van der Ven, who is 29 years old and world number 127. And Jody Vermeulen, the 27-year-old, world number 15. Go up against the French team. Lola Grandjean is just 21, world ranked 160. Tiffany Renaudin is 24 years old and the world number 75, and the anchor for the team is Sophie Daudemont, who's 47 years young and the world number 7. First to shoot, it will be the Netherlands, and this is Inge van der Ven. Oh, my apologies, it's Sanne de Laat starting for them. Again out into wide into the 6. Is that aim or is that wind?
I imagine it's a little bit of wind, probably. Differences from the practice field coming across here into a different part of the field. Look at the flags again, waving fiercely behind them, so this is tough.
Yeah, and that is Van der Ven shooting second. And just managing a 7 there. What can Jody Vermeulen, the most experienced and highest ranked Dutch archer, do? Straight into the 10 for her. That will help calm the nerves of her two teammates. Daudemont leading the way for the French team for their first 3 arrows of this first end. Lola Grandjean. Just pulling out to the left there for an 8. Grandjean has emerged from the restricted period we've been in and started to show some good performances already on the circuit. Tiffany Renaudin finishing things off with an 8 and a 3-point lead already for the French team, but conditions are very changeable indeed. Back to Sanne de Laat for the Netherlands.
Different style of release aid, thumbs off, it's a hinge, just pull in. Same again, Jody as well, you see the thumb off, just pull in, it's as that release aid turns the angle.
Well, as you can see, the 5th arrow is subject to a measure there, but much better shooting from the 2 less experienced members of the Dutch team, finishing with a 27 out of 30. The sharp amongst you will notice that the French have changed their order. In fact, the French would normally shoot this way with Dodemont leading out with the first arrow and finishing up with the last. A bit of a tactic from the French, and if you look at the scores, the first and the last arrows are the best, showing the class of Sophie Dodemont.
Yeah, she's a fantastic archer, world number 7, and a previous Olympian, picking up a bronze medal back in Beijing in 2008. So vast experience, and that's why she's leading them out. You know, it's a tougher position, I think, sometimes to lead out the first arrow of a match and then close up as well. So that's why there's 2 sort of younger French archers taking the slightly easier positions if there were. So.
You talk about Olympic medals for Sophie Dodemont. Compound doesn't feature at the Olympic Games, so I'm guessing that she used to shoot recurve then.
She did indeed. She used to shoot recurve. She switched over some years back and had amazing success with compound. You know, she's been on the circuit now several years with a compound and shot amazingly well. So yeah, very, very experienced archer in both disciplines. Not many people have done that.
No, I think I'm sitting next to someone that has done it. Did you go the same direction? You shot recurve first and then moved to compound?
No, well, I shot recurve as a junior, shot for GB, and then I came out as an international senior as compound, and then went over to recurve.
So you did a double switch in your career then. Amazing. Which is harder then? I'm going to put you on the spot now, get you in trouble with all the archery fans.
Oh, it's a terrible question, isn't it? I think compound is more simple, if that makes sense. There's less elements to it, but it's more of a mind game. You know, shooting compound is all about hitting a 10. If you don't hit a 10, then you're at risk. So I think it's much more of a mind game, whereas recurve is much more of a physical game. You've got to train really, really hard and really, really regularly.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's a wonder when you look at how good and how disciplined the compound archers are, why it isn't already on the Olympic programme. There we go, doing my bit for World Archery and getting compound into the Olympic Games. Recurve is the only discipline at the moment. The Netherlands are still trailing in this gold medal match. Will shoot first in end number 2. Sandelat starting off with a 9. The measured arrow in the first end was not marked up for the Dutch team, so the 2-point lead remained for France. Bit of a longer hold from Inge van der Ven, but another 9 for her with Jodie Vermeulen with the last of the first set of arrows for the Netherlands in end number 2.
Fractie laag, Sanne, zeg maar, ja, rond 10 laag.
We've got both ends of the scale here. Sophie Dodemont, very experienced at 47 years old, handing over to Lola Grandjean, who's just 21, and Tiffany Renaudin, who's 24. How much is having that solid, you know, regular 10 scorer at the start and the finish of your team rotation? How much confidence does that give you?
It's going to help because, you know, straight away, you know, you've already got a 10 on the board, and, you know, the team round, as you can see there, fist bumps, you know, it's all about the team and feeling a part of it out there. So it's very different from the individual when you stood there on your own, and, you know, that makes a big difference.
Again, of another point for France halfway through this second end. Netherlands really struggling.
Keurig Inge, 10 links laag op de rand.
9.
Just going into the line from 105. There is an opportunity for rather a hefty lead here as we hand back to Lola Grandjean. Pretty impressed with her, Nikki. She's really sort of burst out the scenes. Obviously, the restrictions we've had because of the global pandemic have meant that we've kind of missed the coming of age of the juniors that were turning into seniors over the last 18 months. But Grandjean looks like the real package.
Yeah, it's so difficult to know what people have been doing in lockdowns, and for some people it's been really beneficial. They've had more time than ever to shoot, others not so. So yeah, it's fantastic to see some new faces really coming through.
So Daudemont closing things out in the second end for France. Chance for a 4-point lead here. And she has put that into the 9. So it is a 3-point lead, an extension of 1 by the French team. They look very, very solid. I think we've got a clip a little bit earlier of Inga van der Van's tattoo, a fairly popular thing amongst archers across the globe. Van der Van's got what looks like a tattoo of a fox. And they're really going to need all their cunning and guile to get back into this one. Rendered my expert analyst speechless there. But in all seriousness though, Nikki, they are going to need to find a way through, because the French squad, the French team actually look like a very, very solid unit. There doesn't actually seem to be that much communication going, just the odd word here and there.
Yeah, they've really dialed in now, haven't they? So good fist bumps again between them as a unit. It is an individual sport. Go out there and shoot your arrow on the line, but if you can communicate between your team, then that helps, especially in winning conditions. But yeah, they're really into their stride now, aren't they?
Yeah, they just look like a stronger unit at the moment. This is for the gold medal, and having this relaxation. Look, I mean, even the youngest member of the team able to. It's not showboating, but recognise that the cameras are actually looking at her and giving acknowledgement to that. That's the nature of this team. Very relaxed. Halfway stage though, and that wind is still changeable. Let's put it that way. It's not a very strong wind, but it just keeps changing and dropping. It really will have an effect, and it could have an effect on just one arrow in the remainder of this match. Netherlands trailing by 3 points will shoot first. And it is Sanderlat shooting first as the Dutch stick with their order.
Links omhoog, dat was prima gedaan. Links 10,1. Hartstikke goed.
On the stage there, so the archer's got to move across that one at a time. If they go too soon, they could get a yellow card.
X10.
Good bit of pressure from the Netherlands. 9, 10, 10 for the first 3 arrows. Daudemont back up. Really not fussy at all, is it, that process that she goes through? It's very deliberate, very direct. I mean, it's each to their own, of course. All individual archers will have a slightly different process, but it just seems that there's not much that needs to be corrected, or if something goes wrong, there's not much that you would need to fix with the Grandjean's process.
Yeah, it's keep it simple, do the same thing every time. It's all about consistency, and yeah, she's nailing that right now.
1 point gain from the Netherlands through that first half, but second arrow from Sanderlat going into the 8. Perhaps it'll get marked up to a 9. It's going to be measured.
See a big swing of the arm there. She knew it wasn't in the right place when it went off. Tried to correct it, but not enough.
Well, having gained a mini advantage through the first half, the Netherlands, they've opened the door for the French team to build on their lead, and fist bumps all round for Lola Grandjean. So 2 10s, and that's before the most experienced member of the French team, Dodemont, steps up. She actually shot 2 consecutive 9s to get to this point. Is she going to get back in the 10s? Yes, she is, and a great grouping on that last 3 arrows from the French team. A 166 to 160 lead for the French team, and again, it's all about the solidity of that unit.
Yeah, just shooting really well together now, aren't they? Like you said, they just look really relaxed as a team and really into their stride.
We take a look back at that end. Sanderlat shooting that 8 that's going to go for a measure. And Jodie Vermeulen usually shooting an 8 to finish off for the Dutch in that end.
Quite a high start point there, but as long as those 2 hands are at the same level, then that's fine. She's just using, you know, really get better lats kicking in if you draw nice and high, but both hands must be at the same height. You can't have the back one lower.
6 points lead.
Is that simply because the arrow will always go higher if your backhand's lower?
Yeah, if you draw with the backhand lower, obviously if something went wrong and the arrow went off, the trajectory would be too great, so you must have your hands level wherever you do with them as you draw.
Well, they had the measure here for this gold medal match. We're just waiting for confirmation. The provisional score was 160 for the Dutch team. They could have been marked up to 161, but either way, the French team are in pole position as we go into end number 4.
The wind really lapping up now. You can see that bow moving around. That was a tough arrow and a great 9 from it.
Yeah, sigh of relief there from de Laat. Still blowing for Van der Ven's first arrow of this all-important stage, and that's a great shot as well, isn't it?
Yeah, she dealt with that so well. You know, these 2 archers here shooting, on, like I said, with these hinges, so you can't really trick them. You can if you really want to, but I think they're really pushing and pulling through it, and it is tough in these conditions. They're shooting really well.
Yeah, great response there. They did not get marked up in the last end, so came in with a 160, shot a 29 through the first 3 arrows out of a potential 30. What's going to be the response from this strong unit that is France?
Allez, viens fort, Lola, la confiance en toi. Allez. Fais fort, tu maintiens. Yes.
Everything's very deliberate from Lola Grandjean. I think we're going to see a lot more from this young French archer.
Allez.
Tiffany Renaudin with her penultimate arrow of this gold medal match for the European title, puts it into the 9. So matching the Dutch. So even as the Dutch have raised their game for this final end, the French have leveled up with them. Still a 6-point gap.
On reste sur notre tir. On a fait depuis le début des équipes. On reste sur notre tir.
Tegen alle
Nee.
inslagen.
Even kijken.
9,
0,8, net eroverheen.
Allez, Lola, réfléchis pas. Allez, tu vas bien jusqu'au bout.
Net eroverheen, Jody.
Allez,
3 9s, the last one subject to a measure, puts them on a
tu maintiens bien.
216, potentially getting marked up to a 217. So 218 will be unachievable.
Allez, Tiffany, tu prépares bien les choses. Allez, Marissa, allez.
I think she was a little bit, wasn't sure where that shot was going to go into light when it hit the 9 then.
Quick shot there. Massive room for error for Sophie Dodemont. French team on the verge of taking what should have been the 2020 European title here in Antalya in 2021. Finishes with a beauty as well. Absolutely great stuff from this strong French team. A 224 to 16 dominant win for the French team of Lola Grandjean, Tiffany Renaudin, and the supreme anchor of that team, Sophie Dodemont. Means France are the European champions here in Antalya.
for the silver medal to the Netherlands.
It's not often you say this about a Dutch team, but they were second best in that final.
Yeah, they certainly were. You know, France came out, Sophie just leading those 10 to start and 10 to finish, their teammates opening with 8, but they soon settled in with some great shots all the way through the match, and yeah, they just ran away with it from there, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the start from Sanderlat with the 6, followed up by Inge van der Van with a 7, set the tone for them, and they just didn't recover from it.